You got the table. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Tuesday Night Live at Grumpy Acres. Time for a homestead update and just general chat about everything.
Hey.
Before we get started, we're gonna say hi to everybody that's in chat. So we got the Terminator was in first tonight from the Great White North, and then Jane, and then Anti-Etjack came in. Apparently somebody was doing the safety dance. When I'm pointing at the. Pointing at the subscribe button. That's it. Gotcha. That's a very obscure reference there, Anti. Lan, what's up, brother?
Caught my attention. So
hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a great week. It was a good week around here.
It was a good week.
Yeah. I mean, what did you get done this week?
Oh, buttermilk. You got cheese done. I mean, it's been a process. So we have literally used 1 gallon of milk from the cow, raw, 1 gallon of milk, nothing goes to waste and everything is used. So I have ricotta, cheddar, some cheeses, I don't even know what they are, butter, all kinds of stuff in my refrigerator. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So the reason why we're on this kick right now is because we got the Joel Salatin visit on Thursday, and they're doing a dinner for about 100 people, and we volunteered to make the butter. Neighbor Chris was kind enough to
donate all the milk.
We bartered, but we're getting the better end of the deal with it, honestly.
We think so, but that's the point of bartering.
I figured. I mean, how many gallons did we go through
so far? 10
gallons
for that purpose
over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been two.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
Feels like it's been shorter.
But we did it, and we decided we were going to use everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we pulled the cream off, and the cows this last week, man, out of a gallon of milk, at least a quarter of it was straight cream.
Well, it's grass season, right?
But it was gorgeous, gorgeous yellow stuff. And then, so we made the butter with that, and we ended up with 120 some.
Well, there's more than that.
Is there? So
I have 4 trays.
We learned a lot about serving butter.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those little pats that you get in the restaurant is half an ounce.
Mm-hmm.
So we made 130, 140 1 ounce little things.
No, they're not 1 ounce. No, they're half an ounce. They're 0.5 to 0.7 ounces.
Those can't be 1 ounce. Half an ounce.
They're I guarantee.
Okay.
Go grab them. We'll weigh them.
Anyway,
I've weighed them.
Everybody's getting a serving of butter. So
Y'all got your butter.
They can do what they want with it. And then we took, and I used to make cheese all the time when we were milking the goats, making milk goats cheese, basically soft cheeses, mozzarella, good paneer, stuff like that. But I
did a lot of flavored cheeses.
But that was paneer.
Yeah.
That was a paneer that you flavored.
Yeah.
So we decided I've always wanted to start doing the harder cheeses. So we talked about it last week, making the cheese, but I made another batch of cheese, and hey, Independent Mini.
Hi.
But I made another batch of cheese, and
that cheddar,
it turned out good. I made it. I made the stuff for Chris, and
that cheddar you sent over to Chris, he actually shared it with Cowboy. Cowboy didn't eat it like Chris did, so Cowboy still had some. And Chris was telling me Sunday night when they were over for dinner, he was telling me that Cowboy's saying that cheddar is really coming through and it's hardening. Nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good.
Doing really good.
Good. And that's something about making homemade cheese is the patience it takes. Oh, is the rice burning? Did you
No,
turn it off? It's still on.
it doesn't smell like it's burning.
Yeah, I can smell it. Go check it real quick. Sorry, we're cooking rice for the dog's dinner. But so started making the hard cheeses, and I made that for him. And then I've got two more about 1.5 pound blocks of cheese that are aging right now. I've got them. I made a little cheese cave in the back for them, and they should be really good. Sam says he's getting ready to go to Midwest Preparedness Project is happening this
can't
week,
wait to see you.
So
that means he's got your jerky. Make sure you get some money for that.
But after you make the cheese, you're left with the whey, and so we made ricotta.
Yeah,
and
that was exciting.
We found some. There's a proper way to do it, and if you don't do it right, it doesn't work. And we found that out last night or 2 nights ago, whenever we made the second batch of ricotta. So lesson learned. We won't make the mistake with ricotta anymore. And then after that,
and what was that mistake for anybody in here that maybe came across something like that?
So
because it was super easy mistake to make, right?
Ricotta cheese, Italian ricotta is Italian for twice cooked, right? So you make the cheese.
It's actually ricotta, but
ricotta. What did I say?
Ricotta.
Oh, ricotta. I'm sorry. Ricotta is the.
It's the same cheese. It's just if you're white or not.
Anyway, you cook it. You bring it back up to 180 degrees, and then you put something acidic in it, vinegar or lemon juice, and let it sit for about 10 minutes, and it curdles, and you scrape it off. Well, this last batch, it was getting late at night. I had to work the next day, so I turned the heat up, and I got it up to 180 degrees really quick. Well, it ended up scorching the bottom of the pan, and so all the cheese that should have been floating at the top was stuck to the bottom, and it just didn't turn out. It was very rubbery, and so
kind of like a string cheese is how I would say.
So we learned our lesson, and plus I don't think I put enough vinegar in it.
No, you put too much vinegar in it.
Well, you can't put too much vinegar in it when you're trying to curdle it.
I mean, I came in and I said, why does it smell so vinegary? I don't remember the smell. And you said, I think I put too much vinegar in it.
But this is the reason why we do this stuff now instead of waiting till later when it's necessary.
But the good thing is it's still edible. It's just how you're going to use it, right? So
I fed the scorched stuff to the dogs.
Right. So it's just how you're going to use it.
Yeah. But this is important. This is an important lesson to practice now, so that when the time comes and you don't have all the modern conveniences, you can do it without them. You make the mistakes now so you don't make them later.
Right.
I'd rather do this when I can afford to feed that to the dogs than having to scrape it off the bottom of the pan.
That ain't no joke.
And eat it because we're hungry, right? So take that as a lesson.
Right.
Well, and here's something that came out of making the cheese. I started thinking about how you could give a class. I want to share this with the people in our community. So I developed an 8-hour class. It's
but not just on making cheese. It's the entire gallon.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was going to say.
Well, but okay.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm sorry, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
But so it's an 8-hour class, and it's the working title of the class right now is Homestead Cheese Making and Milk Processing, and we're going to on June 21st. This is the announcement. You guys on the update are the first people to hear this. We have not announced this to anybody in the community at large. On June 21st, we are going to give a class for the community on homestead cheese making and milk processing. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running through the class syllabus that I made, and we're going to be working out the kinks and teaching everybody in the community at the same time how to do the stuff that we're doing. And then we can get feedback and we can develop it. And right now, can I say tentatively what we're going to do with it?
Sure.
So tentatively,
well, we have Thunderhill Farms is coming tomorrow.
Tentatively, we want to see about getting this in the rotation at Self-Reliance Festival in the fall, and getting a paid course. And I think you guys tell me what you think in the chat. All right. So $300 for an all-day event. And you get
lunch provided.
Lunch provided. You get $100 worth of cheese making
Mm-hmm.
supplies to take home with you, and then you get some
We're
cheese,
talking presses,
some
and that
cheese
kind of
and
thing.
some yogurt
Mm-hmm.
to snack on there at
and butter.
And butter, and you
homemade
learn
bread.
how to make cheese and the ricotta, the paneer, and butter and all that stuff. I personally, I think $300 is a great cost for this, but we're waiting.
We want to make sure everybody can afford it and walk away with, I just learned this class, so these are all the tools that I need. I can go home and I can start doing this.
Well, and
that's why the high cost.
The flip side of that is we want to make sure that we're not underpricing the product. And so we're gonna talk with people that do these festivals and do these sort of classes and see what they think about the cost.
Yeah, and Carrie and Glenn will be here from Thunderhill Farms tomorrow.
We need to
we'll talk to them.
We need to talk with
see
Nicole,
if it's doable, right?
And
yeah, we can do that same time.
I think I'd like to talk to Chuck Peoples. I haven't seen him in a while. I'd like to talk to Chuck Peoples about the pricing, with his mom and that kind of pricing. So I mean, it's something that we're working on, and if everything goes good in June, we're going to be able to refine it and make it as a product. Plus, we've got the community building here, so I'm thinking that if it really works out, we can start doing it locally, and we can start promoting it locally, and then have people locally do it.
There's a lot of dairy cows locally, so I think it's going to be a good thing.
And there's enough. If people want to camp, they can camp out there. They can come. They could fly in or drive in from wherever in the country they want.
You can stay here. You can stay at the community building.
Don't offer a house.
I mean, seriously, you kind of have to. Don't like 5 minutes away, so you kind of have to. But we've got Banner Creek. You can stay at Banner Creek. Lots of RV parking, tent space,
hotels, local hotels.
Well, there's 2 hotels, but we won't get into that.
So this is something that we're thinking about. We're always talking about monetizing the homestead, and that's what we want to do, and that's what everybody should be trying to get, these side hustles, because every little bit's going to help. And we didn't say hi to Shannon's Bible readings
because she just came in. Hey,
hope you're having a good
Beth
night.
Emily came in. Good to see you.
But, so there's that, and then around here it's been dry. No, it has. It's relatively dry for the last week. It rained once, but there wasn't a lot of standing water, and it went away. The ground's not soggy like it was 2 weeks ago and the week before.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain again tonight or tomorrow.
So the grass has been growing. Been able to get the animals out on the pasture. I almost came in and got the gun the other day because they were all being such. So here's the way.
I'm done.
Here's the way it works with the sheep and the goats.
Who needs to be dog food?
Here's the way it goes with the sheep and the goats. I let them out, and they're focused on eating. And once their bellies start getting full, they start wandering around. And the goats start eating stuff that they're not supposed to eat. And the sheep start going places they're not supposed to go. And it's like they all decide this at one time. And they will literally... I'll shoo them away from everything, and they'll get in a big bunch, and they'll literally run all the way around the property to get away from me. And then they'll end up going right where they're not supposed to be. So that's an issue, especially after today, because we got
ground tilled.
We got the garden space. I mowed it yesterday. And
4,000 square feet.
Actually, it's bigger than 40. It's about.
Oh, did he do it?
No,
it looked big.
It's about 4,400 square feet now. I had it at 42, but he went around the edges a little bit to give me some room. So if we utilize it all, it's going to be about 4,400 square feet.
Ooh-wee.
But let's be honest, guys. We're not going to be able to do it this year, just because.
I don't know. We got Paradise Stanley and Redneck. We might. And one of the suggestions that was made for this year was that what we need to do is put viney product out there. So your melons, your squash, that kind of thing, to kill all the Johnson grass and bamboo. So that's what we're going to do.
Because all those weeds that got tilled under are going to come back at some point.
Yes, they will. Yeah, they'll come back.
We have to get it. We have to get it under control. And what we found over the last 3 years is if we keep everything mowed down during the spring and summer, they don't come back as thick. The weeds don't come back as thick, and the grass starts to thrive.
So I was going to talk to you about that. We need to find a new space for asparagus that's not in the driveway, because you've mowed over the asparagus so much. I have no asparagus in the driveway, and I should have. I was looking for it. I wanted it.
It hasn't grown yet. It hasn't come up yet.
No, it should be up.
No, it's too early.
We're in May.
The ground's too cold.
Okay.
When it starts coming up, it'll take about 6 days for it to come up big enough to eat.
Okay.
I'm
keeping my eyeball on it. So.
Yeah. And if it doesn't come back, then it just wasn't meant to be, right, guys?
No, you're gonna find me a new space.
Well, we got to find a new space anyway, and I'm not digging up the driveway to save that asparagus. So don't even say it. No, she wants me to dig through 8 inches of rock and then 2 feet of dirt to pull up asparagus when we can just plant new stuff. Yeah, it's just
and then I have to wait 3 years, and
it's not my problem. It's not my problem.
Because you're carnivore. This is what you have to deal with special diets. They just don't care. How do you keep the livestock alive?
Yep.
That's all you care about.
No, I care about the garden. I also care about wasting my time digging through the driveway.
It's not a waste of time.
Yeah, it is.
You're making me happy.
It's a never-ending process.
All right.
So there's that. What else did we do this week?
We got the first pantry cabinet. I'm changing some stuff in the kitchen and trying to get everything not so much chaos, but a little more organized, that kind of thing. The first cabinet came in today.
Yep.
So we're going to try to get that put together, get that one switched out.
And it's a beast. The thing's heavy. There's a lot of parts to it.
Yeah. And then we'll order the second one.
Well, here's the
next
kicker.
Week, maybe.
This is a big news that happened this week, and it's a kicker associated with the things. I was doing a nice thing when I ordered this, because we've got they're rather expensive, and we've got other things that need to be done that the money could have gone to.
Yeah.
But she was working hard at Casey's, and she got a decent paycheck, and I was like, okay, I'll do the nice thing, and then we can do it in another couple of weeks and get the other one, and we'll all be good. And I am not kidding, guys. The day after I did this nice thing, she quit. She's no longer working at Casey's, and I don't blame her. I'm not upset about her. I'm not upset about her leaving Casey's. In fact, I saw it coming, and it doesn't bother me.
I'm pretty sure as of tomorrow, I got a new job anyway, that I'm going to be much happier.
Well, you better knock on wood or do something, because you're counting chickens before they're hatched.
I think I got this.
You know, but yeah, so we're going to have mismatched storage spaces, but
just for a week or two.
It's something that needs to be done. This house, when we moved in, if anybody that's seen us tootle around the kitchen on videos
and struggle,
yeah, you can see that it's
a struggle.
Yep, it's
so we'll get it done. But yeah, where'd you go?
Well, I was gonna go look. Somebody say something. Give me an
they're in there.
Well, nobody's saying anything, and I'm afraid the chat's locked up. They may be chatting away, and we don't know it.
No, it's fine.
Let's see what it says. Oh, yeah, it's there. Usually they're a bunch of chatty Cathys.
Well, you don't have Stains in here, and you don't have Timbre in
here.
And
there's the other news.
All right. They showed up today, finally.
So Midwest Preparedness Festival is coming.
Yeah.
So we've got some house visitors tonight, and one of them's going to be out at camp tomorrow, and one of them's going to go over on Thursday. Okay.
Probably not Thursday. If she does, I'll be surprised. It's because we'll be so exhausted.
She wants to go see Bear and William.
No, I think she's going to be at Joel Salatin.
I talked to her already.
So anyway, she'll figure that one out. Everybody's tired. Nobody really knows what they're going to do yet. But I do believe that she may try to split both, actually. So I might try to split both. I'm not going to lie.
That, and as far as Midwest Preparedness Festival is concerned this spring, guys, if you go, our participation in it this year is going to be very limited due to her injury and some other things going on.
Life.
So I'll be out there on Saturday. You're going to try to get out there Friday.
Yeah, I'll try.
And you're going to talk. You're going to see if you can piggyback and sell some.
I haven't talked to her yet. So
you're going to see.
Hang on.
She's going to see about if she can piggyback with Thunder Hill
just
Farm.
for the cinnamon rolls, because I know you guys love my cinnamon rolls.
So our participation is going to be very limited this spring. Maybe next fall when everything settles down after recovering from the wreck and all that, we'll be more involved with it. It's just too close. And then she found out you found out stuff
today was my 3-month checkup, and so because of some things that are going on, I've got to go back for more MRI and x-rays and that kind of thing. We're going to try to avoid surgery. Not sure we're going to be able to. I don't know. Doctor didn't know. So it's until we get the MRI, we just don't know.
Right.
So, but there's some stuff. So if y'all see me like a crippled old lady out there, don't make fun. So Sam, I'm out there for you.
Sam, I will make 100% certain that she at least makes some to take to you.
What he's saying?
Sam wants to know what he's going to eat.
Supposed to do now.
I'll
make you some, Sam.
In fact, she'll make it. She'll meet you at Thunder Hill Farms tent, and you can get your blueberry sauce and smear it all over it and eat like a barbarian.
We'll make sure. I'll make sure. And then Skanes is here. I kind of walked her through the process, so she kind of knows, but I'll supervise too. So if I can't finish, I'll supervise her and we'll get it finished.
Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
It's appreciated.
Yeah.
So that's basically everything that's going on. We graduated the chicks, some of the chicks out to the outside brooder. And I was concerned because it's been in the 40s, low 40s here the past, actually they did great. The day I took them out there, the temperature dropped and I was like, seriously? That's what I get for not paying attention.
Yeah, they did great.
But they did fine, and some of the other chicks are getting to the point. In fact, almost all those chicks could probably go out there.
No, not all of them. Turkeys cannot go out. No, guineas cannot go out.
We can't put.
So just I have chicks in with the turkeys, right? So, but that one they can go out.
Blueberrying again.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah. Well, I'll do it just for that.
The older chicks are ready to graduate. The guineas. See, anybody that raises guineas understands this. They are really weird animals, and you have to keep them locked up for 6 months.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, as soon as you let them go, they're off into the wind and they disappear.
Right.
We got lucky. We had one guinea stick around.
Yep.
And guinea's kind of confused. He thinks he's a chicken.
Turkey, I think sometimes.
Well, he's been attacking the turkeys.
Oh, so he's a chicken now.
He's been attacking the toms.
All right. So now he's a chicken.
Speaking of guinea attacks, I'm sorry. This is funny. Angela doesn't think it's too terribly funny, but it's funny. So we've had an issue the past week or two. You know, it's springtime. Everybody's a little randy. You know, everybody's hitting on everybody. And one of the turkey toms was hitting on the duck hen. And the drake did not like that. So the drake started attacking the turkey, and the turkey started running. So again, I'm out there, and this turkey is dragging this duck around the yard for a good minute or two.
The duck will actually bite the turkey's wings. So here's the bill. This is the turkey wing, and like this, and he will not let go. And so they simultaneously fly all over the yard. And it's horrible. I just think it's so mean.
So the turkey gets loose and the duck's walking off. He won the fight. And the turkey turns around and puffs up and starts going towards him. Well, he's got his back to the young guinea rooster. And the guinea ran full bore and pecked him right in his butt. And the turkey jumped about 10 feet up there and made this god awful squawk. I'm sorry, it was funny because the turkey deserved it.
It's funny, but it's not. It's just bad. It's bad. Oh my God.
Great guinea, great alarms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's hard to know when they're just squawking when they because everything sets them off.
Yeah. Ours are a bit spoiled.
The wind blows and it's like, hey. But yeah, and the
then
ticks,
my truck comes down the road.
The ticks, they have not done a good job so far this spring. Well, actually, I take that back. I don't know.
I was going to say, you got to remember the first year we moved in here, it was bad.
Yeah, well, and then our neighbor said when he was running fence that he got covered with ticks. So I found a couple of ticks, but beyond that, it hasn't been that bad.
Yeah, no, they've been great.
And then you think one of the turkey hens hatched some chicks out there?
Yes. I have been searching for those. Today I was gone. I was at the hospital for most of the afternoon, but I need to go out and look again, and I got to make sure I got socks on, white socks, that kind of thing, and go out there and
Did
look.
You get ticks?
No, I know I will if I go in that brush. So I didn't go in the brush last night. So
So hopefully we get some natural born turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we had 10 of them hatched last year. There was
12.
Only one survived, plus the mama got et. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Come on, Ed. What language are you speaking?
This country.
No, I haven't heard anybody talk like that.
Because you didn't grow up in the Ozarks.
I guess not. Well,
but so that anything else going on? Gonna have to do maintenance on the mower, on the tractor, because the mower deck started making some funky sounds last night. I think I got a bearing going out, so
we got to get the side-by-side done.
Side-by-side needs to be fixed, but that's not something I can do.
We're dependent on somebody else, Mr. Hacks, to get that done.
No, I need the mower done first.
Which one?
The zero turn.
That's what I'm saying. He's the one that has to do that.
You said side-by-side.
Isn't that the side-by-side?
No,
the zero turn. I'm sorry, zero turn. Yeah. But yeah. So
Sam says he sprayed all his gear and clothes with Promethean to prep for the ticks this weekend, also bringing tick pullers. There you go.
I want one. I love those. I think I have one. I might have one in my wallet.
Gave you one.
Yeah, I might have one in my wallet.
Either that or you take some of these guinea chicks with you and they'll eat the ticks.
Yeah, and then I'll never see him again.
You can raise them over the course of the next year and then have them to eat ticks whenever you come up here.
Oh,
train them to stick close, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've got guineas in right now for Cowboy, and Garen's like, "Why do we have so many guinea eggs on the counter?" And I'm like, "Because the order has been filled. How many more guineas do you want?" And he's like, "Okay, no, yeah, I see what you're saying."
I didn't say why. I said, "Man, we got a lot," because I did not realize guineas laid so prolifically.
Yeah.
They are very prolific.
And we have a lot of hens.
Well, and I'll tell you what, guys, if after the apocalypse you're raising guineas and you got eggs and barbarians,
you're going to be fed.
The barbarians come, you can take one of those guinea eggs and whip it at them, and that'll hurt them. Those things are hard to crack.
They're hard. I had to get a guinea. I had to rescue a guinea out of the eggshell yesterday. It was so hard. It was weird. I know people say not to do that, but I do that. Yes, I'm that person.
Oh, Randy came in. Hey, Randy.
Hey.
So, Terminator, I love my miniature white turkey sitting on the 9 eggs, hatching soon. And I have bronze turkey eggs in the incubator with chicken eggs. And so far, 5 eggs in the nest in the barn. Excellent. You're going to get...
Yeah.
Well, and so that was turkey. Since we're talking about turkeys, you're going to find this interesting, Angela. Let me find it. I was looking at Ag News today, and there was an article.
I can't imagine where this is going.
Well, but you're going to be surprised after the conversation we had with somebody.
Okay.
I don't want you talking about. Oh, I deleted it.
Oh
no.
Well,
anyway, so there was an article that Cargill and who's one of the other big ags? It's not Tyson, but Cargill and one of the other big ags were announcing that they were shutting down turkey farms.
Woo.
Yeah. So they're shutting down turkey farms because people are not buying them like they used to. So it's very
interesting, because that's not true. They may be shutting them down, but that is absolutely not true. And there's some information I cannot give you, but wow, what a way to spin that information, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Tyson, Lynn. It was for the life of me, Conag. It was Cargill and Conag.
Yeah.
Hey, Wildlife announced it. It was I was kind of shocked when I read it. And I did. I went and read the article, and sure enough, they're shutting it down because they said that people are not buying turkeys like they used to.
That's not true.
Yeah.
And so we know where the turkeys are going. We know why they're being pulled. I wish I could share it with you. I cannot. They will not be in for a bit because they have stuff going on. Otherwise, I would ask permission, but I have to keep my mouth shut. And guys, that's not true. So
Cargill and Foster.
Okay, yeah. So
there's my
if you can get a hold of turkey chicks right now, this is your time to do it. It's the only way you're going to do it. And I mean, the fact is, you could kind of hit this in some way. I think you can hit this politically, and then you can also hit this ag wise. They have to start hardening us for what they're trying to do. And in order to go global, you kind of have to get rid of Thanksgiving and Christmas. So what do you need a turkey for that? So let's not do that. And no, this is bad.
So they're trying to ban all hunting guns.
Yeah, interesting.
So
they did that in Australia too, Terminator. And so the other thing I would say is that if you're looking for dog food and trying to figure out dog food, and even if you're not, you need to be figuring that out or be willing to eat dog food. One of the two, right? So
why would they have to eat dog food?
Well, if all of the human grade is going to, right? So, one of the two. So apparently pets require more meat in the market than humans do. No, I think I can say that. So, look at where the marketing is going and that kind of thing. And you guys, it's time. You got to start looking at your households and get all this stuff together. And this is not something that one person can come and fix. It's going to take time to fix it.
Well, and this whole conversation here leads into, so I've been developing a video that I'm going to make, and I'm going to probably do it as a live, on the idea that they want to ban backyard gardens. They don't. Here's the thing. WF has never said they want to ban gardens, period. Just anybody that says they want, that they've said that they want to ban gardens, you need to tell them to put a sock in it. But there's more to the story than just that. And it comes around, and there's a if you pay attention to what they're actually doing and what's happening, it comes around full circle, and it's a very interesting story, and it's something that everybody needs to know about. But the takeaway from it, I'll give you the takeaway before I even make the video, because it's something that we say here all the time. You need to become responsible for your own food. And I don't care if you're living in an apartment or suburbia or on a farm. You need to become responsible for your own food. You either procure it locally from somebody, or you make it yourself locally. So it's very important, and then with the state of the world, and I had somebody, so I made that short the other day, and I've gotten pretty good over the last 3.5, or actually we've been doing it for 5 years. I've gotten pretty good. I've gotten a pretty thick skin, and it takes it takes quite a bit for somebody to upset me whenever they post a comment. Well, I made the short about how we need to harden ourselves and we need to mentally prepare and spiritually prepare. And hey,
Let me
stop.
see if the girls are back.
So anyway, I made that video and somebody asked me what I was talking about or what I meant. And so
Oh, God.
What?
Keep going. I'm
What
going
is-
to go help.
What is it?
They're coming in.
Okay, just make sure they don't run anything.
Yeah, gotcha.
So anyway, this person, I asked them back. I said, "What do you think? What do you think it all meant?" And what I was trying to do is I was trying to get them to start thinking about it and give me a point of reference to start from. And their response back was that I didn't know what I was talking about and it was stupid and I needed to grow up and stuff. And I was, and the reason, hey, hush, Creighton. The reason it upset me was because I was trying to be diligent and I was trying to help this person and they turned around and snapped at me. And it made me realize something. And I did. My comment's still out there and I was kind of nasty about it, but they deserved it, quite honestly. They deserved the response they got. But it got me thinking about it is as more and more of this stuff starts to happen, more and more people's core beliefs are going to start being challenged openly. And it's going to get to the point where they cannot deny it. And it's going to cause a great deal of cognitive dissonance. And if you've ever dealt with anybody that gets a really severe case of that, they tend to get really nasty and they tend to lash out at the people who are trying to help them. So you need to be ready for that. If you start passing this information on, it's going to happen to you. All right. And hey, sometimes it's one of those cases. If I offended you, then good. You needed to be offended, right? So just take it on a case-by-case basis. Hang on.
You're going to have to take care of that.
Why?
We're going to have to get off early.
Why?
I don't want to say why right now, so I'll tell you.
Did they hit something?
Yeah, you're going to have to take care of it. You're going to have to move the trailer.
You keep talking.
Are you going to go do it now?
Yeah, I'm going to go do it now.
So what'd you get through?
Just talk about what you want.
I don't know what I want to talk about.
No.
Oh, exciting. There's people in town. So sorry guys, kind of the way it works. And when you have an open house and the community is building and that kind of thing, everybody kind of comes in and not everybody knows how to navigate a gate. So that's an issue. So there we are. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure where he was in the conversation, but everything that we've done, and kind of exciting news, getting the gardening going and doing all of that. Weather's been kind of wonky. Luckily, I planned for that. And so I've got sweet potatoes and that kind of thing. Oh, Hippocrates. Yeah, food presentation. I can do that. We've got food going. Sweet potato slips are going. All of that. Do you want to jump on here while he's doing that? Are you sure? I don't care. Everybody needs to see what a hardworking woman looks like. I mean, look, we all know what it looks like. Get over here. Everybody just drives me nuts about, well, look at how I look. I'm like, we all work hard.
This is the ugly truth, people. This is what I look like after wearing these same clothes for 2 solid days.
So let's talk about your journey to freedom, because that's been quite a story, because you actually left Sunday morning, right?
Sunday night. We left Sunday night.
Not until Sunday night.
We left Sunday night.
Yeah. They started Saturday morning. So
yeah, our goal was 11. Then it was 2. Then it was 5. And then we said at 6 we said something, and then we said, okay, let's go. And we went and gassed up and got ready, and we said we'll go so far. We'll see before we get to Little Rock, and if we think we can make it through Little Rock and get past it, we'll go. And if we don't think we can, we'll stop in Sheridan. And that's what we did. We stopped in Sheridan and tried to get a few hours sleep. And so we did get a few hours sleep. And then we took off again. And then that's when the fun started. Tambra doesn't think it's funny, but I can now.
Funny.
It is funny.
Funny.
It's funny because it's it's a long string of.
It's a journey
Yeah,
of
it's a
events,
journey of things that
and
happen.
so so you've got all of a sudden, and it's so funny. Here's what I think is funny. So she had 3 tires blow out on the horse trailer.
Yeah, we had. Well, first we had. She noticed that the battery. It wasn't charging. And I got out and looked at it, and I was like, oh my gosh. I said, you might need new terminals. You might need, they didn't look right. They were jerry rigged. Obviously they had some washers, some other stuff, trying to make sure the connectors were good. And then it charged for a minute, and then it quit charging again.
Redneck engineering.
Yeah,
I've done it.
So it, and this is how God works sometimes, because what happened, I wanted to get a coffee, and in busy watching, keeping an eye on Tambra to make sure, I missed my exit. I got off on the next exit, and I realized, hey, it's telling me to go backwards. I must have missed my exit.
Oh, I didn't know
and that's
that.
where it went completely dead for her. And she was able to coast into very difficult, because no power steering. She managed to get the truck and the horse trailer parked at a gas station by the pumps.
Oh, that was amazing. That was a blessing.
Yeah, that was amazing. And
you know why I want to laugh?
Why?
Because I had some young cowboys come in. I'm talking like 18, 19, no older than 25.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some stuff going on. You got cattle running up and down the road. Rodeos are starting, the whole 9 yards. They had the trailer full of cattle, and they came in, and I said, "Woo!" I said, "You smell like money." And he said, I smell like shit. And I said, what you need to understand, I said, when you smell like manure, it just means it was a hardworking day, right? And we call that money around here. Like our property often smells like money. And so they had
that smell like money.
They had 3 tires blow out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Trailer loaded. Had to replace all 3 tires. Yeah. So what she went through, that was nothing.
Well, we unloaded all our stuff out because they had to move the truck separate from the horse trailer.
Oh, get out.
Yeah. So we loaded the stuff out of the truck into the trailer. Then she had to drop the trailer. They pulled the truck. They came with a gooseneck to move that part.
Sure enough, that's what we went through in Kentucky last year.
I cleaned everything out of the truck, threw it in the back, and we got in and we took off. We followed it, and we just happened at the shop that the guy recommended didn't have room for the horse trailer. So he said, there's this other one that has room, but they get things done really quick. And they did. They got it done really quick. They did a great job. Yeah. Got it done really quick. Super nice. Everybody was great, from the tow guy all the way to the guy who ran the shop. And then, so we get back on the road. Here we go. We're in Russellville. Back on the road. I'm trying to make up time.
On the road again.
Yeah. And, it's getting close to, I think, were we looking for?
You were in.
I was going to get a coffee. Every time I went to get a coffee, something bad happened. Yeah. So I was going to get a coffee, and I'm going like, where's she at? What happened? Then my phone starts going off, and she is like, I had 2 tires blow out on the same side. Yeah. They're completely shredded. And I had to save them, though. I'm going to make something with them. For her,
good night. Okay.
I think it would make a giant, beautiful sunflower. Yeah, like a big sunflower or something in the yard. Yeah. Anyway, so I went back, managed to get off, and there happened to be a stop right before Fayetteville. And I managed to get 1 tire off. We had 2 guys that actually helped us, because I found out my 12-ton jack doesn't work. It needs to be, no, that's right. This one I found out it probably needs oil. But anyway, he went and got a jack home and grabbed us a jack. Mm-hmm. And we got the tires off. We left. We took 2, the spare and the other one with us, and we got 2 tires on it and came back and saved the good new tire for a spare and put the spare on there, which was a good thing we did, because then we're going, and I got to get gas now, still wanting that coffee. And we got to the gas station. Should I tell that part or not?
Oh,
we got to the
Be
gas
honest.
station. Okay, so I'm pulling around here, and she comes in because she's in a much longer. The horse trailer is a lot longer than my little trailer, and so I thought she was going to stop, but instead she was going to try to go around me. Well, she caught my trailer with her trailer, and pushed my trailer into the pump up against the. They got that pipe there, so you can't hit the pump, and and it messed up the fender on hers. Well, because of that, though, we got a good look at the tire behind that.
yeah,
Had
that was
big
a blessing. Yeah.
plug out of it. And we
Mhm.
didn't know that. So guess what? We'd have been for round two with two flats.
Round 3.
So we
Yeah.
got the fender pulled out, got her backed up. And then I couldn't get off the pole because it was in between my fender and the first rung of
Don't
angle
ever
iron.
repeat that.
What?
Don't ever repeat that.
Okay.
I couldn't get off the pole. Sorry.
Exciting times there in Arkansas. Hey, HG, I'm going to tell you what. I thought Arkansas wasn't going to let us go. I literally spent from Sunday night until earlier today in Arkansas somewhere.
Yeah, you did.
And so anyway, I didn't know what to do. She's over there waiting. We're going to go ahead and change that tire and get that one taken care of. And I saw the sheriff's officer come by. So I run over to his truck and I said, "Can you help me?" And he's probably going, "Oh no, it's a, it's a meth head." Because I look pretty rough. But
you do not look like a meth head. Like I have that. I
need help. Well, you know me.
it.
I was tired and dramatic, and I'm like, "Can you help? I need help. I need help." And so I took him over there.
You
and
don't
he
have
laughed.
scabs all over your face. You're fine.
He came over there and he said, "Hey, just you know what?" He said, "Don't even pull it up." He said, "Just cut it hard to the right and just kick it." And it, of course, it hung. And I said, "Oh, see." And he says, "Now punch it." So I punched it, and it slid off.
Tell me all that.
Yeah. He told me just to punch it. So it slid off the pipe and took all the paint off of their pipe. My angle iron's fine. The girl from inside the store came out because she saw the cop and me and didn't know what was going on. And I scraped the red paint off. I said, "Here, I didn't want to steal your paint." There you go. And so we went over there and we got the flat changed. And I said, "You know what? Let's go eat a good dinner.
Yeah.
And see how we feel. And if not, let's just call it a night. You go crawl up in your trailer, go to bed. I'm gonna sleep in the cab of the truck." And that's what we did. We had a fantastic dinner over at the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, the dogs were appreciative tonight. They got cornbread, so
yes, I brought them, and I'd already fed Fancy.
Oh, you
Fancy
did.
Pants
Well,
got cornbread when I first got here.
Garen fed her more, so
She got a double dose because she had her own muffin, and I eat a little bite off it. But so we did that, and we got a good night's sleep and got up, and Tambra did the right thing. She's like, "Cindy, before we go anywhere else, let me go get 2 more tires." And that's what we did. We went to the tire shop. So it all worked out.
That's why you guys went back and got more tires.
We went back. Yes, we went ahead and had them take off the other old tires. So there's nothing but new tires on the horse trailer now.
Good.
And the best tire that she had saved as the spare.
Good.
So now that's all good to go, right? So here we go. Back on the road. Back on the road again. And and then we had to get off right before Kansas City to get gas. And then I'm trying to decide how we're gonna roll this because I've got tables I have to take over to the community center off my trailer. And I need to get her horse trailer unloaded so that we can camp in it for Midwest. And so I decided to take her the scenic route because everybody should drive through Tonganoxie at least once.
Only if you're,
so you can say,
only if you're stupid listening to your GPS.
And so there we go. So I changed it midway. Instead of coming here, I went to where I'm going to my shipping container. And so it took us the long way around. But was it beautiful, Tambra, where we drove? You can come say hi. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
You do. Look, I had to come in. I had to show all my.
Hey,
show all
Lucy,
my
Tambra
ugly.
made it. I'm supposed to tell you she made it. So
Yeah,
she made it.
She told me she told her.
She just said
while we weren't on the live.
they're here.
Because we once I went in with my trailer over there and I saw that, hey, it's good. And then G told us it's going to rain tonight. So it was either do it now or not get to do it at all.
Did you roll up your truck windows? Your windows are down.
Oh no, I'll do that. I'll do that. I did that because so it don't lock itself.
Yeah.
But I have the keys.
And so, so I'm getting text message from Skeins and she's telling me everything that's going on. And I had to remember a message that I had gotten and something G and I came up with. Tag embraced it. Tag uses it too. And it's very simple. The pursuit for freedom is not free. There's a price to pay for all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but I let them know you're rocking it. So keep going. Just don't, because somebody always wants to just kind of, I can't do this. I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to remember
I'm like
the pursuit for
Bugs
freedom.
Bunny,
Yeah.
He don't know me very well, do he? I'm that hard. I'm that hard headed. I'm not much of a quitter. It doesn't mean I don't have moments when I'm trying to do things by myself that I don't go cry, maybe say a few ugly words, and then I'm like, I can't do this, and then I just say, no, I'm gonna do this if it kills me.
Yeah.
And especially when I'm doing construction, mostly, but different things. Because I'm a woman. There's some things it's hard for me to lift, pull, undo, fix.
Get up on, 20 feet high, whatever.
Yeah. So,
but so here's what I'm going to offer to you because, guys, it is 7:51. Garen's got to go take care of something. I need to go call my cousin.
Okay.
My cousin called before. I almost did not end up on the live. And I promised him I would call him by 8 our time.
Okay.
So I need to call him back and make sure everything's okay. I'll explain to you afterward off the live. But if you would like to take this on, you can. You got it? Okay.
Okay. He's got it. Tambra, I think Tambra should have to come show her face.
No.
That's not fair. Huh? I'm more what? You said you fixed me a cordial? Is that what you said?
She said you're more cordial. So. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey guys, I'm gonna go. A shower is a high priority on my list, and some clean clothes.
We all know where it's at.
Yes, I do, and I appreciate the hospitality that's been provided to me here. So, I'll be back in the chat next week when I'm back in Louisiana. All right, now over to.
Oh, you're not gonna stay for 2 weeks like you did last time?
Back to.
Dang.
You missed me.
Okay, guys, we got everything under control. All right, listen, we're at 52 minutes. Let's talk about some current events. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what I got for you. Okay. Yeah, you guys are going to like this one. In the "You Can't Make This Stuff Up" department, former First Lady Michelle Obama says she's in therapy and it's helping her transition to what she thinks is going to be the next phase of her life. Mike. I'm sorry. The way that was worded was just hilarious to me, and I had to share that with you guys. Let's see here. Where am I? Move tab to a new window. There we go. All right, there we go. Now I can see the chat and talk at the same time. Aren't I so good? Back to being a dude. She also said living in the White House was so expensive. Well, guys, she just somehow they managed to become bigger millionaires than they were when they moved in there. So it's crazy how that works, isn't it? Here's another one. So did you guys hear about the rioters in where was it? One of the colleges. Bunch of people went in and took over one of the buildings, and the governor was like, "Hey, stop them." So they went in and arrested them all and took them out. They set fire to a dumpster. I think it was in Seattle, one of the universities in Seattle. But anyway, So they arrested these people, and then today, well, I guess it started yesterday. They've got another chop, and this time it's in D.C. And if you can find the video of it, there's a video of these protesters yelling at police, and this one kid's in a white mask, and he's screaming at the police about how the police deaths are good, and it's a thing for freedom, blah blah blah. And then his voice cracks like an episode of My Three Sons or the Brady Bunch. Whenever Greg's voice, or was it the middle boy's voice, started cracking, and yeah, it was pretty funny. And these people think they're serious, and they are a joke. These protesters are a joke up to a point, but we cannot underestimate them because they are threatening violence. They are promoting violence, and this stuff is going to spill over, and it's going to be worse this time than it was in 2020, just because people are going to start pushing back, and that's going to make more violence happen. So this is something you need to be cognizant of whenever you're out and about. If you live in a state or a place where you can carry, I suggest you carry anytime you go out and about. I'm hypocritical on this at this point because sometimes I forget. I get in a hurry and I just jump in the truck and go. But you need to start worrying about this stuff and just be cognizant of where you are. All right, let's see here. So this is a good one. I like this one. Elon Musk and the Doge team got on. They were doing a live someplace, and the comment was made that arrests have to happen, and the Doge team called for arrest of 100,000 fired federal employees after alleged fraud revealed. I don't know if you guys remember whenever they went in to these different agencies, they started finding all kinds of fraud, and somebody made a point on the conversation with this that I want to share with you, and I did not want to, right? I forgot their name, so I didn't put it down. So don't think this is my idea, okay? And he says, we talk of fraud all the time that is being uncovered, and no one is mentioning names. There is a name behind every dollar stolen from the taxpayer. Someone received that money. The funds went into someone's bank account. If arrests do not happen, then there is little need for Doge to continue. And I agree. I did that video last fall about there have to be repercussions, and people need to pay the price for what they've done. And they're absolutely correct. If we're not going to hold people accountable, then what's the point of doing it? Because they'll just do it again. I don't know if you've ever dealt with a thief or a liar. If you let them go and you don't correct the behavior, it happens again and again and again, and it gets worse and worse. Hey, Rabid, what's up, man? The next thing I want you to remember, and it's really kind of funny that I put this in the middle of my talking points, but I think it's important. Guys, when you're out there on YouTube or on the internet or listening to the TV, remember that fear sells. What you're getting in most cases is one person's hyper opinion about something, and it pays them to get you riled up and afraid, because most of them are selling something in the process. We talk about things that could cause fear, be fearful, but we're not doing it to get anything out of you. In fact, we're trying to do it to illustrate the fact that we want you to start preparing so that when these things happen, you don't have to fear them. I mean, it's good to have concern over them, but you shouldn't be afraid. All right. There's so much you can do to inoculate yourself from everything that's going on in this world. And all you have to do is do it. Right. With that said, I found this interesting. This one, I actually got this from Jace. Jace Medical does a newsletter because I bought a product from them and I'm an affiliate. I get a newsletter every week. And this one was in this week's newsletter. And measles numbers triple the 2024 cases. So currently the number of cases in the U.S. is 884, according to data published Friday, April the 25th. This is triple the amount of measles cases reported for the whole of 2024, while only measuring from January to April 2025 in comparison. The infection is also spreading into new territories, with cases being reported in 30 states around the country, and with 6 states reaching levels considered to be outbreaks. For more information on prevention and treatment, consult your local healthcare professionals or visit the CDC /measles. Okay, so these exotic diseases that were almost eradicated in the United States, the reason why they've tripled in 2025 is because in 2024, they allowed more illegal aliens into the country than they had the previous 3 years. And it takes a while for these things to inoculate and start to become a problem. But these people were allowed into the country without being vetted and without making sure that they did not have any communicable diseases. And this is what we see. When I was working at the hospital in 2007, 2008 timeframe, maybe it may have been a little bit earlier than that because it was before the financial crisis happened. In Kansas City had a huge outbreak of tuberculosis. And I was talking to the infectious disease nurses about it. And they made the point, and it's been verified by other people, they made the point that these things pop up in the immigrant communities first, and then they percolate out into the general population. So, I just be careful. Let's see here. So what did it? Let's see. Who say to bring? That's my question, Gregory. Oh, you're talking to Tambra. But yeah, so just need to be aware of this. Start practicing a little bit more biosecurity with yourself and your animals, and we should be okay. All right. Now, Rabbit says the boy went to Jesse today to get his active reserve stuff taken care of. There you go. Let's see what else. What else is going on here? I had some other things. Let me get into my mail. I put my mail in another window. That's why I can't see it. Hang on a second, guys. Okay, so I can close that out. So that's some of the stuff there. And again, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I want everybody to be cognizant of what's going on in the country. All right, because the more, what is it? The more you know. Is that the way it used to be on our Saturday morning TV shows? Okay, so Liberty Matters. I thought this was very interesting. So Congress this week did a reconciliation markup that took place on the House Natural Resources Committee today. So this was on the 3rd. We're still waiting to learn whether or not the bill will include a provision for compelling federal agencies to coordinate with local governments. Several key members made this request as this is the only tool local governments have to protect communities from federal government overreach. Yeah, having to legislate the federal government to talk to the locals just so that we can make sure that they're not overreaching. How great is that? All right. And this one, I love this one, guys. You've heard me talk about it a couple times. In fact, I think we talked about the last couple of lives. The U.S. rejects Agenda 2030 and Sustainable Development Goals at United Nations meeting. In a rebuke from the United Nations, or in a rebuke to the United Nations International Day of Peaceful Coexistence, the United States firmly denounced the UN's Master Plan for Humanity, known as the 2030 Agenda Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. The Trump administration officially rejected the agenda during the 58th plenary meeting for the General Assembly that took place March 4th. That's awesome. Now, just saying out loud that we're not going to support it is a huge move because it puts it on the table. Now we have to work at legislating it. We have to make it so that local governments can be responsive and keep these initiatives from happening. Because even though the Trump administration says they're against it, there are elements in our government that are going to try to force it. They're trying to do the 15-minute cities. They're trying to do the natural conservatories. They're trying to do all these things that are part of that agenda to take people's ownership of private land away from them. So just remember this and keep that in mind as you deal with your local government. All right. So yeah, is Rabbit hanging stained sheets out anti? Is that what you're saying? Well, it's not solely meant for that. Yes, it's one of those things that they could use it for that, but that's not solely what it's meant for. The markup that they're doing is meant for. But there's other ways to fight the sanctuary cities too. You know. Okay, so what else did we have? All right, you guys, we got a little bit of time. You guys want to talk about one of the Monday morning polls? Not the one that we did yesterday, but the one we did last week. Gave it some time, and I looked at it, and here's some of the things that I came up with. And this is all, I got this in notes so that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's a very small sample size. I realize this, okay, but it's a good snapshot, if you will. So the question was, how long could you shelter in place? So we had 13% said 3 days, 19% said 3 weeks, 35% said 3 months, and 32% said 1 year or more. Some of the comments that were in the for the poll were that if I can go out and forage and if I can go out and hunt, that extends my time out. And yes, to a certain point, that is true. But let's look at what each one of these, what one of the categories said. So for the 3 days, this represents the group that's adhering to what is often the minimum official recommendations for emergency preparedness. It's a small segment, but it shows a level of basic preparedness. These people, the people that said 3 days, are at least engaged and they understand that maybe they need to do more. This is a good thing. They might be newer to prepping or have limited space or resources, or perceive the most likely scenarios are short term. All right. So the 3 week category. All right. So the interpretation here is this group is prepared for a more extended duration than the basic guidelines. This could cover more significant events like prolonged power outages, severe weather recovery, and initial phases of a broader crisis. It indicates a more deliberate effort in stockpiling supplies. And this is where we need to go. This is the direction that we need to go. We need to be more deliberate about everything that we're doing. All right. So, and then the 35%. Now this was the largest group of people. So the interpretation here is that we're aiming for 3 months of self-sufficiency is a significant commitment. It implies substantial stores of food, water, medical supplies, sanitation solutions, and potentially alternative power. These individuals are likely taking precaution or preparedness seriously and planning for a more sustainable disruptions. All right. So the key here is they're looking beyond the immediate problem. All right, and they're stacking stuff for that, and they have taken even a more deliberate step. And then the final one, the 35% for that was the okay. So the last one is the year long, and it came in a close second at 32%, and this indicates a highly prepared segment of the responses. Sustaining a year or more requires extensive planning planning resources and likely skills in areas like food preservation, gardening, or even off-grid living. This group is probably preparing for long-term scenarios or views preparedness as a fundamental aspect of their lifestyle. I think from knowing this group, I think quite a few of the people that responded that way are in the later stages of prep steading and into homesteading. But this is a good snapshot of the preparedness continuum and how people have moved up that continuum and are making progress. The one thing that the analysis showed was that 67% of the respondees were planning for 3 months or more, which is great. That means that this group, the group that responded to the poll, is really looking at preparedness full time. Let's see, what else did I have here? 3 months. 3 months seems to be the sweet spot for most people, and I could see that because once you get 3 months in, a lot of the disruptions that you can see on the horizon are not going to last longer than 3 months, right? You know, the hurricane last fall shows that there are exceptions to that rule, right? So there's graduated levels of preparedness in the community, and everybody should be working their way up the continuum, trying to become more prepared, and B, helping the people that are not as prepared get more prepared. That means encouraging them. That means sharing our experiences with them. It means physically helping them if we have to, and if you're capable to. It's all painting a better picture if we're all helping each other, right? Oh, that was good. So there's that. What else did I have? Found out tonight, this is something that we need to be aware of. It does not affect us directly, but it is something to watch and beware of. India finally retaliated against Pakistan within the last 8 hours, and they are bombing the Pakistani side of the border. And Pakistan, like a good third world country, has vowed to hurt them way beyond their capabilities. But the problem that it faces the problem it presents on the world stage is they've both got nuclear weapons, and there's always the possibility that they could start chucking nukes at each other. And if they do that, that's a game changer on the worldwide scale. The other big development within the last 24 hours is Israel struck back at Yemen, at the Houthis, and they shut down the major airport in Yemen, and the Yemeni airliners had to shut down operations indefinitely. They don't know when they're going to be able to get it back up and running. But the Houthis talked to the American admin last night and said that they were not going to attack ships in the Red Sea. In fact, President Trump, when he was meeting with Prime Minister Carney today, and announced it while they were doing their little press conference. In fact, if you want to see something funny, watch Carney's reaction whenever Trump starts talking about it, because the man looks very uncomfortable, and he looks like he is out of his depths in dealing with that type of foreign policy. I thought it was very interesting. But then the Houthis, there's this thing that they chew in the Middle East and in Africa called khat, which is it's a narcotic, and they chew it, and it makes them high, and it makes them very bellicose and very brave, and it's a huge problem. And so they turned around and they said that they weren't surrendering, and so who knows what's going on there. If Israel got them to stop attacking ships in the Red Sea, that's a huge plus for the world, because it makes it so that all those tankers and freighters that are having to go around the Horn of Africa or take the long way around to the Panama Canal through the Pacific are going to be able to start transiting the Suez Canal safely again. Rabbit says allegedly Pakistan shot down 2 Indian jets. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Seems like every 10 or 12 years they decide to start shooting at each other, and with the way the world is now, there's a whole lot more crazy going on now than there was the last time that they were shooting at each other. So hopefully, if you're a praying person, maybe we should pray about that and ask that cooler heads prevail on both sides. It's just, it's a concern. It is a concern. Well, guys, that's all the stuff that I had prepared to talk about today. There were some other things I had, but maybe I put it in my. Let me see if it's in my notepad. Nope, I don't have it. Yeah, I deleted my notes that I was preparing with preparing. Now, let's see here. Carney is a banker. He probably has put. Yeah. Well, here's something I'm noticing. A lot of liberal and Marxist politicians are quickly finding themselves out of their depths because the rest of the world has decided that we're not going to put up with their beliefs anymore. They cannot dictate reality. They cannot make people believe something that is patently untrue. They can't force you to do it. So they're out of their depths, and you're starting to see a lot more. How do I want to put it? They're starting to lash out more often, and they're starting to try to pass things that are anti-liberty. In Texas of all places, the House in Texas passed through committee a bill put out by a Republican of all people to put people in jail for propaganda if they post something that's propaganda. And if you read the bill, I kind of glanced over it, and I haven't done a deep dive into it, but some people were saying that the bill could be interpreted that if you post a meme making fun of somebody and they can prove that it's a false statement, which most memes are just over the top exaggerations, right? That potentially you could be put in jail. And the Republican was like, no, that's not what it was about. And the defenders of the Republicans were, no, that's not what it's about. The problem is that it may not be about that now, but it could very easily be interpreted like that in the future. In fact, was it Jamie Raskin or was it somebody else? I think it was Jamie Raskin a couple of weeks ago told the world at large that any state that cooperated with President Trump would feel the repercussions when they got back in power. They being the Democrats. So they're out there threatening people right now. And then there's the what's her name? Shiloh, what's her face? Some girl, I think it was in Ohio. But she was accosted, or she got into an altercation. I'm not going to say she was accosted. She got into a altercation with an illegal Somali pedophile of all people. And she called him the verboten word, the N-word, that word which must not be spoken. Unless you're a rap artist or somebody in the black community, then it's okay. But she said it, and he was filming her. In fact, the reason they got into the altercation because he was filming kids at the playground. And she didn't know he was a pedophile, but she called him on it and said it was really creepy. And he started attacking her and calling her racist and stuff. And like I said, come to find out that he's a pedo. He was charged with something that was very distasteful. But the people that supported this lady ended up raising about $600,000 for her because she was under threat of losing her house, and they were attacking her on social media, and she was, So these people have gotten fed up with people calling other people racist. So they started raising a bunch of money for her. So in return, the people that are defending the illegal Somali pedo are raising money to stop the evil racists. And then you got the Austin Metcalf case down there, the Carmelo Anthony. You should, some of the stuff that was said on the fundraising sites for him were just terrible, and there's people calling for violence and excusing murder, because of the color of people's skin, and there's certain segments of our culture that are defending the idea that you could take somebody's life just because they touch you or they disrespect you, and it's perfectly okay. They don't see a problem with it, and I'm not specific. I'm not talking about ethnic groups either. I'm talking about everybody. There's people in every ethnic group on every side of the continuum, the political continuum, that are doing this, and it does not bode well. It does not bode well at all. If lies on social media resulted in incarceration, there would be no one left on social media, right? Except for me. I'd still be here because I never lie to you guys. Let's see here. I need to find a black immigrant partner with him, stage an event so we can both make money. There you go. There's your side hustle, man. Of course, now that you put it out there to be found on the web, you'll get found out. You'll do it, and you'll end up just like Jussie Smollett, only reverse Jessied, right? Unfortunately, these are the repercussions of being on social media. That's one thing you guys can take to the bank, that I'm not going to do shady stuff as long as it's not warranted. I'm quite open about my thoughts on revolution and taking on the government. So that's not a shock to anybody, but I'm not going to be going out and doing anything like that, because all my viewpoints are out on the web for everybody to see, and they'll be used against me. This is one of the reasons why I'm very careful about what I say about firearms. Very careful of what I say about self-defense, because they will twist your words and use it as a tool against you. Oh, hey, Bob Seger's 80th birthday right now, just so you know. Dude, I remember when the album with The Way She Walks, the one that was about Jane Fonda, and the album before that had Night Moves on it. I remember when those came out, and the guy that we had, a guy that was working for my dad's pool service. He was one of his former football players. He was 18 years old, getting ready to go to college, but he lived with us during the summer, and he bought a kick-ass stereo system that was in our community. He and I lived in the upper floor of the house we lived in, and we had our own bedrooms, and there was like a communal sitting area, but he put that in there, and those albums were one of the ones he got. I was 8th grade going into 9th grade, and we would sit there and listen to that. Oh man, it was awesome. I have his first album, the Seeger Sound System. There you go. Tell you what, that's one thing I do miss. I do miss vinyl. I wish I had the money to get a good vinyl collection and have a decent stereo system. Oh man. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? You guys got anything you want to discuss? I mean, I can come up with all kinds of stuff to talk about. All right. There's all kinds of cool stuff happening in the world, and we need to be aware of it. Oh, here. Let's see if I can find the news articles I had before. AgWeb, I think it was on AgWeb. Well, they were talking about wheat futures. So I don't know if you guys caught it. I don't know if you guys caught it last week, but wheat futures were looking like they were crashing last week. And there was an article today in one of the major ag publications that just confirm that. So it's looking like there may not be as much wheat, and people are going to soybeans and sorghum as an alternative because it's a better it's more profitable. Let's see here. Sam says y'all can make bets on how many mags I'll have this weekend. So okay, so I'm gonna say the over under on that is 10. I'm gonna say the over under on that. Are we just talking about your funny Russian gun mags, or are you talking about all mags? And where's that? We gotta have stipulations on this. We need to know what people are betting on. Yeah, if you guys didn't know it, Sam is an advocate of the funny Russian gun. Although I do find it interesting that the AK-12 disappeared. They were pushing that really hard last year, but that kind of disappeared. Let's see here. Gregory says his dad goes to auctions and buys all vinyl records he could find. Wheat is at $5.39. Is that $5.39 a ton, Rabbit? I think that's what they priced that at. Let's see here. Rabbit says that lumber is down, so get the crap you need for your projects coming this summer. Absolutely. Yeah, by the ton, $5.39 a ton. Let's see here. Gotta bring a smaller gun this weekend because of reasons. Okay, I understand. I think I know what the reasons are. So you can have it in your vehicle. So if the funny Russian gun's not there, then I'm going to say the over-under is 5. If both of them are there, the over-under is 15. I saw something. Len said something earlier up the thread. Hang on. Let's go back and find it. So Len's a Detroit kid. Seeger was always big in the D. This sounds so bad. We thought it was a local thing and had no idea how big he was nationally. Oh, yeah. Strutzer Stuff. That was the one about Jane Fonda when she was dating Jerry Brown. He wrote that about her. Winter wheat is planted in the fall and then harvested next summer. Yep, absolutely. Let's see here. So I guess Jane and Len are simpatico because they're both Detroit kids originally. The funny Russian gun, rather tootin' pootin'. You know what? I will say this about the AK. It is an excellent platform. I have not shot it a lot. I've shot the AK-74. Did not get to shoot the AK-47, but I did get to shoot AK-74, and I got to shoot the Galil, which is the Israeli version of the AK. Good Lord, that's a heavy gun. That is a heavy gun. So Jane, Grosse Pointe and Goose Point Park. There you go. Okay, guys, listen, we're working on an hour and a half here, and I need to go out and fix a table tonight so that it can get over to the community center for Thursday. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do the next in the Prepper Continuum series. We're going to talk about the prepper and what it means to be a prepper. I think you'll find it interesting. I'm taking kind of a different tact on it, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a decent conversation. Some of the things I got in the pipeline. Again, I'm working on the WEF, the WEF video. It's a rather eye-opening video, and then as a sidebar on the PsyOps series, I took 2 incidences. The WF is one of them, and the other one is a meme. I'm actually breaking down a political meme and walking through the propaganda and the truth. A meme that I thought was very interesting, and I had ChatGPT analyze it and give me the feedback. And then I started tearing apart ChatGPT's response, and it ended up being a very interesting conversation that led me to think, okay, this needs to be scripted out, and I need to talk about this and talk about the findings. If you guys want to help the channel, number one, you can subscribe. Number two, if you have watched it this far, get down into the comments and chat. Let the algorithm know that people are paying attention and doing stuff. You want to help the channel, again, help yourself with the affiliate links. We're out there. We're praying that you guys are getting prepared and making it so that you're inoculated against what may be coming. Most importantly, I want you guys to go out tomorrow, live a life done free. When you put your head down on the pillow, you better be better off than you were tomorrow or today, because if you're not, you're either treading water or you're heading backwards. All right, take care.